local, national, and world news headquarters. Join us as RMU Live begins right now.
Good evening and welcome to this edition of RMU Live for Tuesday, March 24th, 2009. I'm Mark Coddington.
And I'm Andre Steed. Coming up on RMU Live, an Allegheny County judge rules against the sex offender ordinance and the state legislature considers a DUI bill. But first, there's a change in the ownership of the reigning Super Bowl champions. The Pittsburgh Steelers owner group welcomes 3 new partners to the boardroom, with one of them being a familiar face to Steeler fans everywhere. Bruce V. Rayner, the Varchetti family, and Hall of Fame wide receiver and 4-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, John Stallworth, were all approved to take a stake in the Steelers by the NFL Board of Directors. Stallworth is already a partner at Genesis 2, a family business office created in 2006. Bruce Rayner is a chairman of GTCR Golder Rayner LLC, while the Varchetti family holds a number of business interests in the region.
An Allegheny County judge overturned an ordinance that would restrict where convicted sex offenders could live. City Councilman Vince Gaskeb, the main sponsor of the measure, was surprised at the judge's opinion, seeing how there was already months of deliberation on the same measure. But the ACO claims that the measure was too restrictive. The law would have called for sex offenders to be restricted from living within 2,500 feet of schools, playgrounds, and public parks. Gaskeb has not yet decided whether he will appeal the judge's ruling.
State Representative Paul Clymer of Bucks County wants to get tougher on first-time drunk drivers. Clymer's bill will mandate the installation of breathalyzers in the cars of people who have been charged with DUI for the first time. However, the American Beverage Institute says the bill does not do enough to keep hardcore alcoholics off the roads and thinks that should be the main focus of any legislation.
The economic crisis is beginning to affect public television. The Allegheny Institute for Public Policy has launched a campaign asking for Pittsburgh PBS affiliate WQUD to begin making cuts to salaries, starting with the president and CEO, George Miles. Miles makes about $300,000 from QED and $800,000 from serving on corporate boards, including AIG, which received billions in bailout money from the government. WQED could be facing a cut in state funding within the next few months.
World-famous conservationist Jane Goodall is coming to Pittsburgh and will be speaking Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. at Heinz Hall. Goodall came to prominence in 1960 when she went to Africa to study the chimpanzee population. In 2006, Goodall was honored as an officer in the French Foreign Legion for her studies in Africa. But her biggest honor came in 2003 when she was named a Dame by Queen Elizabeth II, the equivalent of a knighthood.
On Friday, March 27th, RMU will be holding its international dinner and celebration in the Nicholson Center food court. The dinner is meant to honor the diversity and multiculturalism of the university, featuring dishes from 32 countries. International students who graduated in the fall, as well as those set to graduate during the spring, will be honored. Dinner is free for RMU students and children under 12, while the cost is $20 for adults and $8 for students who do not attend RMU.
RMU's annual Journalism Symposium will be held on Monday, March 30th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. The symposium will feature professional journalists and RMU faculty discussing numerous topics including investigative reporting, media ethics, and web design, among other things. Those interested in attending can contact Mark Seaman at seaman@rmu.edu.
Students from the Army Sports Management Program and the Special Olympics are sponsoring the 2009 Special Olympics Pennsylvania Western Bowling Sectional this Saturday, March 28th. The opening ceremonies take place at Bishop Canevin High School at 9:15 a.m., with competition beginning at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. at the AMF Mount Lebanon Lanes and AMF Noble Manor Lanes. Closing ceremonies will take place at 5 p.m. back at Bishop Canevin, and the event is a qualifier for the Summer Games, which will be held at Penn State in June.
And coming up after the break, Vermont has a new law concerning same-sex marriage and unrest in Sri Lanka.
Plus, Channing Frampton is here with your local 5-day forecast. Stay tuned.
Mom and Dad, we need you to be involved in our school, because when you are, we get better grades.
And have a higher rate of graduation.
It could be as simple as stopping in to read a haiku. Hey, we're not demanding like your boss, but we need you to be involved in our school.
And maybe even get us horse, a pony.
Hear what your kids are saying. Get more involved. Join your local PTA.
Passing gas around infants can be deadly. Passing gas releases a toxic fog of ammonia and hydrogen cyanide, which can be especially harmful on an infant's developing lungs. Passing gas can even contribute to sudden infant death syndrome. Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Well, I have to say the numbers are really good, and pretty much everyone loves every aspect of the show.
Right.
But the network's telling us that we have to get a new female anchor.
A new female anchor?
Any ideas?
Man.
I'm trying to think. Hey, you want to be on the show?
Okay.
Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner and Federal Reserve Chairman Bernanke spoke at a House Financial Services Committee hearing earlier today. The questions being asked were mostly about the controversy surrounding AIG, with Geithner saying the government had no choice but to bail out the fledgling company. The officials being questioned also called on Congress to grant regulators resolution, with Bernanke saying it could have made the current situation much more preferable to the one that's currently plaguing the economy.
Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are looking into a plane crash in Montana. The flight from Redlands, California to Butte, Montana, which stopped in Oroville but was rerouted from its original final destination of Bozeman, crashed just about 100 yards away from the airport. 7 adults and 7 children, including a family of 5, are dead following the crash. Despite that, none of the people on the ground were hurt in the incident.
Vermont could be the next state in the union to legalize same-sex marriage. The Vermont Senate passed the bill by a 26-4 vote, with the House expected to pass the bill as well. The state is already known for being the first state to approve civil unions in 2000. They are also the first state to legalize same-sex marriage without first being prompted by the courts. Governor Jim Douglas is against the bill, but supports Vermont's current civil unions laws.
Over 3,000 vets who underwent a colonoscopy between May 2004 and March 12th of this year are being urged to get tested for HIV. A Veterans Affairs hospital in Miami has said that medical tubing used in certain procedures at the hospital was improperly cleaned, but did not make contact with the patients, and they are merely informing vets for precautionary reasons. It is the second time the hospital has brought problems with colonoscopies. A similar case involving 1,800 vets in the VA hospital in Augusta, Georgia, also posed a risk for infection for patients, although the risk was said to be small by the hospital representatives. Well, a FedEx plane in Tokyo burst into flames on the runway in Narita Airport. The pilot and co-pilots, both Americans, were killed in the crash. The crash occurred about 6 a.m. Monday, Tokyo time. Wind gusts were estimated to be between 30 and 50 miles per hour when the plane attempted to make its landing. There were apparently no other passengers on board the plane. The National Transportation Safety Board will be sending representatives to Japan to assist in the investigation.
An occurrence took place on the beaches of Western Australia recently. As more than 80 whales and dolphins were beached, 68 of the mammals have been reported as dead, but due to the efforts of dozens of volunteers, 17 mammals have been saved. Officials are still puzzled as to what exactly caused this. The rescued mammals are being taken to a protected bay where they will be released.
There is an ongoing conflict happening right now in the Southeast Asian nation of Sri Lanka. The latest developments involve Sri Lankan security forces against the Tamil Tigers Resistance Group, as the Sri Lankan military has captured Iran Appalai region, the last significant stronghold of the Tamil Tigers. The area was surrounded by giant earth mounds designed to prevent Sri Lankan security forces from entering and keep civilians from leaving. The offensive also dealt damage to many Tigers vehicles in the area.
Well, Mark, it hasn't been too bad on the weather front lately.
No, it really hasn't. But you know what? Let's go over to Channing Frampton, and find out what's going on for the rest of the week.
Let's do it.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, it's looking pretty nice out there. We've got the Frampton forecast coming up here pretty soon. Skies don't look too much different than this outside. If we take a look at the current conditions going on outside, you can see that the temperatures are running pretty nicely, right around where they should be for this time of year. So spring is full into gear. It's been really nice weather going on recently, and we should see that weather continue into next week with the temperatures running right now 50 degrees here in Moon Township with a dew point of 14 degrees, and the humidity is at 23%, winds out of the southeast, and the temperature, winds out of the southeast at 11 miles per hour. Temperatures in the local area are looking like this. We have temperatures in the Pittsburgh region, 50 degrees with Butler at 47. And we have Washington at 50 degrees, Greensburg, the cool spot with 48 degrees. And as far as the wider perspective is concerned, let's take a look at the national temperatures. 50 degrees up in Erie, 45 in Detroit, 68 out in Fort Wayne, and 70 down in Lexington, Kentucky. So it's much nicer out down there. And if we take a look at our forecast for this evening, you can see temperatures are going to be right around 37 degrees with cloudy skies. And we'll see a chance of rain showers moving in tomorrow. But as far as our almanac is concerned, we have an actual temperature of 55 degrees with a low of 38. Our normals for this time of year are 53 and 32. And our record look like this, 83 and 9 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast looks like this. Showers, a chance of showers as a front begins to move through the area with a high temperature of 53 degrees. And as far as the Frampton 5-day forecast is concerned, well, it looks like this, folks. Temperatures are going to be going up around 60 beginning this weekend. Chance of rain showers Wednesday and Thursday, but you'll have a nice day to go out and play in the spring sunshine on Friday with a high of 58 degrees. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Channing. You know what? I can handle high 50s. I don't know about you guys.
You know what? I do. I love it. But enough about the weather. You know, Ernie, what's going to happen in sports this week?
You know, I'll tell you what's going on in sports, but me and you had this conversation last week about going to the dance.
Yeah.
I showed up. I had my
you
nice suit
know,
and everything.
You know what? I was
You
there.
didn't show up.
The first half of the dance, I was there. You know,
Yeah.
I had my dress on. I even led a little bit, you know.
Ah.
But, you know, after the half, I just completely lost interest.
All right, also coming up in sports, what former Colonial could be a Penguin? Find out next. Men's basketball team, don't kill me. But first, here's the athlete of the week.
One day, you were simply struggling to be a dad. The next, you're coping with a diagnosis of childhood cancer. CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
In the classroom, I turn my head over this way, and as a gangbanger looking at me, you know, mad dog me throwing signs up under the table. I feel real scared for my life.
And during that time, I wouldn't go to school. My mom would tell me, like, what are you doing for yourself? You're not doing nothing. She encouraged me to go back to school.
My neighborhood is a dangerous place. What's pushed me to graduate is my mother walking down the aisle, hearing her scream for me.
I want to graduate from my mom. She watched the distance yell at me, you gotta graduate, you gotta get out of high school so you can get your diploma.
And I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna be somebody in life.
My pot of gold, your daddy's little girl, till heaven home.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The Penguins came in Sunday's game looking to climb over their division rivals, the Philadelphia Flyers, to step in fourth place in the Eastern Standard Conference. Could the Flyers hold them off, or can the Penguins take them over? Let's go to the Mellon Arena and find out how this game was played. All right, here we go. First period, we're going to be in the power play, and Simon Gagne, he's going to score his 29th of the goal there. Really quick, just right off the power play. Even the logo is still up there. And it's going to be the same case here, just quick goals off the power play. Hartnell is going to get his 27th of the year, but the Penguins, they're going to be on the power play a little bit later. Crosby's going to give it to Letang. Letang, you're going to stop him because he's on a boat. He's going to get his 8th of the season. And then Martin Briand, I am French. I will stop this puck that will not go in the net, and we will win, And the Penguins would lose 3-2. Hartnell had 1 goal and assist, as you saw there, Letang with 1 goal. Now turning to collegiate hockey, it didn't take too long for former Robert Morris forward Chris Margot to find a new place to play hockey. It seems like Chris has skated off the ice after losing the CHA title game and is now on the roster for the Penguins for the AA affiliate, the Whaling Nailers. In his first game, Chris was the first scorer in the shootout and registered 7 shots on goal. Against the Reading Royals, Margot was named the 3rd star in the comeback win for the Nailers. Next game will be in Elmira, New York against the Jackals. Jumping into the hardwood, the NCAA tournament started off last Thursday. Both Robert Morris and the Pitt was playing on Friday. Robert Morris would lose their game to Michigan State, but our friends the Panthers won their first round game. How would they do in the second round? Let's go to Dayton to find out. All right, I don't know what's going on here, but hey, it works for the Panthers. All right, early here, Bailey's going to fall on top of Ethan Bryan, and that's going to be an alley-oop dunk, though, from Young. Both players, they would leave the game, but they would come back, so they're good. But this game was all Pitt all day. Fields going to find Blair, and Blair's going to put it down in the net. Easy 2 buckets. Then Fields just pumped up about the celebration, but he's going to even be more excited what he's going to do here. Nice crossover move, going to the hoop, getting the and one old school 3-point style play, flexing those muscles. He knows he's the best in the game. Then Fields, we're going to miss this shot, but Blair's going to get the rebound, put it right back up. Panthers had held off Oklahoma State, but they would win 84-76. And last night, Team Japan took on Korea. Well, here we go. In the second World Baseball Classic, and they would get their second title. The game was a back-and-forth battle. Japan took an early lead when Hiroku Nakajima scored off a single, but Team Korea would come back off the bat of Shin Chu-Chu with a solo home run. This game would need to go in extra innings, and Ichiro hit a line drive to score with 2 runs in the top of the 10th to win it. And this has been Ernie Bernard on Sports. Back over to you guys at desk.
Thanks, Ernie. Great stuff. Now it's time for a segment called the Baginski Report. Our commentator, Chris Baginski, takes a current, pressing, breaking, or even shocking issue and gives his take on the matter. None of the views expressed represent those of Robert Morris University, the Academic Media Center, or RMU-TV. Chris, take it away.
I'm sure you've all heard by now a significant development in the world of pop culture. Rihanna, the renowned R&B singer, is getting back together with her boyfriend Chris Brown. The same Chris Brown that viciously assaulted her. It truly is a sad story seeing how Rihanna is young, attractive, and has a promising musical career. So you think it would be easy for her to never see Chris Brown again and find a swell fellow to start dating that wouldn't commit acts of violence against her. But no, apparently Rihanna is blinded by love and naivety and thinks that just because Mr. Brown says he's sorry and he'll never hit her again, that he'll never hit her again. Guess what, Rihanna? He's probably going to hit you again. Get out while you still can. Everybody can see where this is heading. Everybody, that is, except for you. This story is already sad enough as it is, as well as a bit strange. But let's not see this sad, strange story change into a tragedy.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
And don't forget to tune in later on this evening at 8:30, where RMU Tonight's on. RMU Live airs at 5:30, Colonial Sports Center picks up at 9:30, and you finish your day with Prime Cuts Theater at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what? We have great quality programming here. And
I love it.
A lot of people don't really, watch it, which is kind of sad.
Channel 98, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching now, you can see all these shows on here later at the times I just told you about.
So for Channing, Ernie, Chris, and Andre, I'm Mark Coddington. Have a great evening, everybody.